Hey y'all, this is your girl Tysheen. How you doing? How you feeling? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing great. Yeah. Why can't Hawaiians afford to live in Hawaii? I heard some few stories, don't know how true it is, but I heard Hawaii is getting very expensive or is expensive already. But I've heard it is a very expensive place to live, and it used to be like that. It's crazy. It never used to be like that. I think it's because people travel there so much. They travel, especially people who has, let's just keep it real. People who has money travel there so much, they decide, all right, I'm gonna go there to live. And then the rent, the rent just went high. Everything just, the cost of living just went up because these are people from all over the world come there to live, and the price is going up. Which, I'm not surprised, of course, that's gonna happen. That will happen anywhere. Where there's gonna be more people moving into another country, and the price is gonna go up a little. Depends what country, but yeah. So stuff like this, I'm not surprised, because back in the days, you used to always hear people say, well, I'm going to Hawaii, and they come back, I love Hawaii, and then people end up moving over there. So let's get started.
I've never been homeless before. This is my first time. Sometimes I feel no matter how hard you try, there's always a barrier here in Hawaii.
Native Hawaiians are being priced out of Hawaii.
No way could I afford to even live here, just me alone. And that's the sad part of it. We can't afford to be here.
Hawaii is the most expensive state to live in the U.S., and out-of-state buyers continue to turn housing units into vacation rentals or second homes. As tourists flock to the state's resorts, golf courses, and beaches, local residents are facing a housing affordability crisis.
They want $1 million for places. This is Maui. It's not like you can drive to another island.
Rent is also increasing, and salaries are not keeping up with the rising cost of living.
That's everywhere. I can't say that that's only in Hawaii. That's everywhere in America. I don't know about other countries, but that's happened a lot here, especially here in New York. It's so expensive to live here. Like, if you're planning to come to New York, you better have money, okay? Money.
Gentrification isn't new, but for Native Hawaiians, being priced out can mean being forced to move off island entirely, thousands of miles away from their ancestral lands.
This is our land. It was stolen from us in 1893. We're the indigenous peoples that belong here, yet we can't even afford to be here.
This is Maui, homeland of the Kanaka Maoli, who were branded Native Hawaiians during colonization. On one side of the island, tens of thousands of tourists are concentrated into condos and high-end hotels. On the other side, Jessica Lau is living in her car, partly because she couldn't afford her rent.
I mean, I have families that offered me to stay with them, but they're on hot housing, and I'm not trying to get anybody to lose their home because of me, yeah. But I like it here. This is where my mom's scattered.
She uses the facilities at the boat harbor to shower and get ready for work.
My dad got me to be a member here, so I use the restroom here. And if I wanted to use, they have a gas stove in the inside that they say I can use. So I either use their hose, or I bring my hose here.
Jessica worked as a tour bus guide and operator for over 4 years, but long days on jungle roads meant she often couldn't use the bathroom for hours at a time. To prevent more serious bladder and kidney issues, she quit. She now works at a temp agency.
This is what it's like to be unsheltered in Hawaii. So it'll be a matter of time. She come up with first month, last month is deposit. With the pandemic and the pay rate down, right now it's hard. I have to be at work at 5. I get off at 1:30, and then I would go to another job in the evening.
She has to go to another job. She has nowhere to go, and these people are forced to have to work a second, third job. Who knows how many jobs? This is sad, but this is, like I said, this is not only Hawaii. This is going in New York too, and other states is going through it. It's slowly going to other states too. Other states are slowly getting expensive to live. Very expensive.
Jessica ran out of money, so she moved into her car to avoid an eviction on her record. Even without Jessica's obstacles, an average salary in tourism isn't enough to afford rent on a 2-bedroom apartment. So now Jessica parks with a few other unhoused individuals at the harbor, From where she sleeps, she can see where she used to live.
Here, I used to live here. I was paying $14.50 for a 2-bedroom. Then the owner.
Wow, so she was paying, that's still a little expensive. That was still a little expensive. Then the owner decided to sell.
So then I moved to the next building, which the rent came up to $1,600.
Hawaii has one of the highest rates of homelessness in the U.S. While the government sponsors programs like shelters and housing subsidies, relief is often temporary with waitlists up to 5 years. And in general, there just aren't enough permanent affordable housing units. Short-term solutions.
That is sad. Wow, this is. Whew. I don't know why Mac is surprised.
Solutions that exist elsewhere in the States aren't available in Maui.
California, you can stay at a motel and pay $46 a night and not have to be homeless. Here in Maui, they don't have no motels or anything. They only have hotels here.
And those hotels can cost on average $500 per night. The U.S. government took control of the Hawaiian Islands in 1898. The majority of Kanaka Maoli protested the move as illegal. The U.S. never provided them reservation land. But they did sponsor a program called Hawaiian Homelands, which is meant to provide land for them to lease. There's currently a backlog of 28,000 applicants on the waitlist. Many applicants like Carolee Kamakona have been waiting for decades.
You'll see this where it lists as of December 2020, the different islands. You can see the Maui waitlist here. I went on the waitlist in 2002. This is 2021, so 19 years.
19 years? 19 years, y'all. 19 years she's been waiting. She probably, God forbid, she probably would die before they even call her.
I've been on Maui's wait list.
An average price for a home in Maui hit a record $1.1 million this summer. Carol Lee would like to buy a home, but without government help, it would be impossible. She now lives with her elderly mother and adult son because none of them can afford rent on their own.
These homes can run about $850 and up to $1 million. Not because of the houses and the way they look, because of the location of the houses. Is that affordable for a Kanaka Maoli? No.
I was gonna say that it doesn't matter how the house look or anything, that is the location, and that is so true.
Not even if you're working 3 jobs with 2 incomes in the household. So that's why Kanaka Maoli have a lot of multi-generational homes where you have 2, 3, possibly even 4 generations living in one household, just so that we could survive and live here at home. My mom, she's 87. For me, I'm 64, and my son is 30. So 3 of us live here in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. No way could I afford to even live here, just me alone. My son, with what he makes in the tourism industry, wouldn't be able to rent the house.
Carol Lee has 7 children, and none of them are eligible to apply for Hawaiian homelands. Applicants need at least 50% native Hawaiian blood quantum to qualify.
I have the 50%. My kids don't have 50% because of an interracial marriage. So they're less than 50. So I cannot give it to them. None of my kids.
Even if Carol Lee's name was called, the lease offered her would only be temporary, with no pathway to actually own the land. The plots can be expensive.
You have to, nowadays, you have to be rich. I don't think there's even middle class anymore. You have to be rich nowadays. You better be making 6 figures nowadays. 6 figures. If you want to afford a house for you and your family, or just you alone, you have to be making a lot of money nowadays. Even having 2 jobs is not even enough. And I know people who work in 2 jobs and they don't hardly be home, but they have to still have to pay their rent and stuff like that. It's like, damn, that's crazy. You work in 2 jobs, can't afford to, you working 2 jobs to pay your rent, but you're not hardly home because remember, you're working 2 jobs. It's crazy, it's crazy.
With homes on them that can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, which she couldn't afford.
So I have to wait for them to give me a lot. When that happens in my lifetime, you think? Probably not. Just probably means that my kids will never ever get a chance to buy a home here. Because once I die, once my mom dies, there is no more 50% blood quantum for my family. It's genocide. It's a way to get rid of the people.
6 out of 7 of Carol Lee's
She's absolutely right. I said this before, is to get rid of the people. They know exactly what they're doing. I said it. I don't care. I said it. They know exactly what they're doing.
children already live on the mainland. But for Carol Lee, leaving is not an option.
Even my kids ask, Mom, just come already. You guys can live with us. I don't want it. I love my home here.
1 in 3 Kanaka Maoli households is at risk of
You
homelessness.
shouldn't have to leave.
As the government works on long-term solutions, Jessica is still living in her car.
Lori Suhaku, Director of County Department of Housing and Human Concerns, said that some of the unsheltered are employed, but their income is insufficient to afford rent. It is true. Like, I don't have a problem paying rent or working, but to come up with first month and last month and deposit is hard for many of us guys, especially during this pandemic. I make half of what I used to make when I did tours. So anywhere between $13, $14, $15, that's what I'm making now versus the $24, $52 that I used to make back then.
Jessica also doesn't have any plans to leave. Despite her struggles at her old job, Jessica enjoyed being able to share her love for Maui as a tour guide. She hopes to find a way back to the industry while still protecting her health.
This mountain right here beside us is Haleakala Mountain, but that's the mountain I drove around for 4.5 years, 129 miles, and that's how you get around the island. I look forward to going back to that occupation. In the meantime, I'll just take whatever needs to be taken so I can be able to stay above water and not have to suffer.
Yeah, this is sad. This is so sad, y'all. It's sad that it came down to this, but this is, like I said before, this is happening everywhere. So I'm not really surprised. Yeah, I'm not really that surprised. I already knew about Hawaii years ago. You know, everybody wanted to move there. Everybody moving there. So I'm always thinking about the people that's there. Like, anywhere there's more people are moving to a state or a country and more people are coming in to live, most likely the cost of living is going to go up. So yeah, so none of this surprised me at all. But anyway, if you want me to like more of these type of videos, go down and subscribe to my channel. And also, what's the next video? Let me know what's the next video down below, and I'll see you lovely people. Take care of yourself. Bye and peace.